To say I'm excited about this video would be a drastic understatement. There are so many of you who have reached out to me and said, well, I think I'm getting mixed, but it's too thin. Or, I have power up to a certain point, and then I just feel weak. I can't get my voice to do what it wants to. I can't build a powerful mix. Well, learning from Ronnie James Dio and Justin Hawkins in a very specific way as we compare their approaches may just be the thing that helps you get what you've been wanting to get. A powerful mixed voice. Very important things before we start juxtaposing these mixed voice marvels. If you don't know how to add support, how to use your support correctly across various areas of your range, this stuff isn't going to work. You aren't going to understand this second important thing. If you need help dialing in your support and using it in various contexts within your singing, click the link below and join my free voice course, and I'll help you do just that. Okay, the second important thing is a phrase. And I'll be explaining this phrase as we go on in this video and how it's so important. The phrase is weight management, specifically vocal weight management. This right here is what both of these singers expose well in different ways that has really lit some things up for me in my own mixed voice. Let's listen to just a bit of Justin Hawkins here, and let's talk about his vocal weight. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. Now, I'm sure you've all heard Justin Hawkins talk.
Welcome to Justin Hawkins Rides Again, the podcast.
Without knowing anything, would you say that his singing voice here, what you just heard, is lighter or heavier than his speaking voice? And would you say that this opening passage from Ronnie James Dio is lighter or heavier than what we just listened to in Justin Hawkins? There's no wrong answers. Just do this mental exercise with me. Maybe my face gave a little something away there, but then again, maybe it didn't. My goal is to take what each one is doing and go, play with it, stumble upon little victories as I'm being completely abandoned into the experience. This is the only way to do it. This is the only way to do it. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. That's a light sounding voice, even though it's not that high. I can do things with my vocal posture. I can bring my resonance around in different places. I've done lots of videos on this kind of thing. But let's not overcomplicate things. Let's just try in our own voices to make things lighter or heavier in different parts of our range. Can't explain all. Can't explain. That's heavy. That feels heavy. Sounds heavy. Can't explain, can't explain, can't explain, can't explain, can't explain, can't explain. Ooh, there's all sorts of range of weight there, right? Now, if I play with that range of weight, doing all sorts of different things to generate that, just asking myself, Is it lighter or is it heavier? That's really all for the moment.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
Can't explain, can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. This is where a lot of people go, right? They get in one area, like, this is my belt voice, I'm in a belt. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. It doesn't work. But if we know how to manage the weight of our voice as we go around different notes and sing different words using different vowels, feel, yeah. I could never do that if my voice was heavy. Feel, yeah. I can't even reach the note. Now, wait a minute. Dio sounded heavier and he sounded like he was also singing higher. Let's go back to his voice. Before we make any snap judgments, let's try a few things.
When there's lightning.
When. Let's just hit that note any way I can. When. Very light, right? When. Huh. When. He sounds nasal. Now, I notice when I make my voice sound more nasal, it tends to lighten it a little bit, even at a lower pitch. When. Huh, cool. When. Now.
When there's lightning.
Ooh. When there's lightning.
When there's lightning.
Ooh, does he make it heavier on light than when?
When there's lightning.
When there's lightning. And then he lightens it up on lightning. So, okay, what I'm getting at here is that this weight management thing is highly dynamic. When we really listen to Ronnie in isolation, almost every note has a different weight. You say, well, yeah, of course, he's very good at doing that. Yeah, he is good at it, but we can get good at it too if we have this mindset. He's not approaching his voice with a single weight. This allows him to be weightier, appear weightier than the Justin Hawkins passage, and be higher, be more powerful, but only for parts. And this is where musical acting and clever, innocent deception helps singers a ton. If I just take this phrase,
when there's lightning,
I don't even worry about the pitches. I just worry about weighting each sound differently. I'm going to lift something heavy on when there's lightning. When there's lightning. Just expressing with it. The different weight. I'm adding so much weight to light in my own voice there. When there's lightning. Then I'm backing off. But so much weight on light that I can't lift it. Like my voice is giving out. It's cracking. But then I'm leaning into the fact that it's cracking. And it's creating an interesting side effect. It's kind of cool. Let's try in a different part of my range. Placement, right? There's all different ways to add weight or take away weight. When there's lightning. There's this arc. There's this arc of energy, an arc of weight, even as I'm low right here, helping me get used to managing my weight across a simple phrase. When there's lightning. When there's lightning. When there's lightning. I'm going to get away from Dio for a moment and go over to Justin Hawkins.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
Subtle. He's doing the same thing here in a different way. Listen again.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
You're behind the steering wheel specifically I want to hone in on. You're behind the steering wheel. I'm really exaggerating it. Really exaggerating what he's doing in my own voice. You're behind the steering wheel. Yeah. heavier and higher, lighter and lower. I am getting my mind really used to the idea by workshopping a small phrase like this over and over again that lighter isn't always an accessory just to go higher. Lighter can be used as I'm going lower. I can be down here. Lighter, really not light. Or I can do it the other way. I can go heavier as I go higher. I can do both. And I should be able to do both interchangeably, regardless of whether I'm trying to go higher or low. I can go lighter or heavier. This is huge. Listen to this phrase again with this kind of thinking in mind. And listen to how he lightens up as he goes lower.
My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel.
Steering wheel. Steering wheel. Now, is he thinking about this? No, but he's worked in lots of versatility and flexibility into his voice, and this weight management is absolutely part of it. Now, listen to how Justin manages his weight over this chorus. Hint, it's not just when he's going higher, but it is when he's going higher. But there's more to it. Listen for it.
I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be looking to the sun goes down. I believe in a thing called love.
Is this lighter than what follows?
I believe in a thing called love.
Don't worry about classifying things as mixed or head or anything. Just what it sounds like to me is this right here
I believe in a thing called love.
is heavier than this. But listen to how he exits his phrases right here.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now.
There's a chance we can make it now. Right? He transfers his weight there.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. There's a chance we can make it now.
Make it now. And he goes up to his head voice. And then he makes it really light. Make it now. La 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 la. Weight management. It involves dynamic resonance, placement, support, all things I help work with you directly with in my free voice course linked below. But especially when you're trying to dial in a mixed voice, we don't think about this. We just think about, oh, I hear a singer singing high, I need to match those notes, and I need to sing and mix in order to do that. I'm telling you, this weight management thing is the ticket across little tiny sections. Having an attentiveness to how these singers are modifying the weight of their voices across these micro sections of phrases is what allows them to exist in the mixed voice that we hear. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce back and forth between approximating different phrases in each of these singers. I'm going to bounce back and forth because I don't want to get locked into trying to imitate either one of them. I want to work on this idea of weight management. And the things I do are going to sound crazy, but you're also going to see as they sound crazy, and even because they sound crazy, I'm able to dial in with this weight management principle lots of amazing, good sounding stuff.
There's a chance we can make it now.
There's a chance we can make it now. There's a chance we can make it now. Heavy. There's a chance we can make it now. Light. There's a chance we can make it now. Lighter. There's a thing. There's up to the but da da. Ooh.
I believe in a thing called love.
I believe in a thing. I believe in a thing. Heavier. Ooh. Ooh, okay, that was cool. I added weight. Let's go over to do some Ronnie.
When you've tried, do they hide deep inside? Is it someone that you know?
Ooh.
Is it someone that...
Yeah, is it someone that you know? Is it?
Is it someone...
Is it someone that you...
Is it someone that you know?
No, heavy on no.
Is it someone that you know?
Huh.
Is it someone that you know?
That you is lighter. Is it someone that you know? I'm going to sing it like Justin Hawkins might. Is it someone that you know? Okay.
Is it someone that you...
Now just on some.
Is it someone...
No, I'm going to make it heavier. Is it some? Is it? Don't worry if your voice cracks. Is it someone that you know? 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 Turn up the contrast. Light, heavy, light, heavy. Is it someone that you know? And let your voice do what it does. Is it someone that you know? Is it someone that you know? Is it someone that you know? Now, I got there by thinking, light, is it someone that you know? And not by trying to commit myself to an overall tone of the line. It was thinking about varying the weight and therefore, by proxy, varying placement, varying support, loudness. I'm resonating in all sorts of subtle different ways by letting myself free into ridiculousness and explore the fringes and then gradually, comfortably dialing those things together. Yeah, is it someone that you heavy? Now let's take a minute and listen to this vocals up version of Even Flow that I did at the beginning. Make note. See if you can name in your own mind when I am adding weight and taking away weight. This is going to trickle down and infiltrate how you approach your own voice, especially when you're doing mixed voice, because you will be able to use different weights to access different notes, all within one phrase intentionally. What does it feel like when you take a single note, single phrase, single vowel, and practice moving with different weights? And all that that implies with all the other ways you can move your voice around. If you'd like more help with this, check out any of my other videos on mixed voice and make sure you join the free course so that you can harness the optimal support and placement options for these kinds of working with your voice. I hope this was helpful. Leave questions and comments below. We'll see you for more.
And every time you speak her name, does she know how you told me you hold me until you died, but you're still alive, and I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me of the cross I bear that you gave to me. I don't know.
Hey, Chris Liepe here with special guest Lauren Babick. We are talking about how to belt.
Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, let me be.
Before you belt, before you try to belt or experiment with it, you gotta be warmed up. We have a new warm-ups course for you Lauren goes through how she mindfully warms up, really test and figure out where her voice is for that day through a series of questions, and then reacting to where her voice is in order to get the most performance out of the voice. Click the link below and join her free warm-ups course.
How to awaken your inner monster.
What is the first thing that you do to find your belt?
It's as simple as saying hi to your neighbor.
Okay.
Hey, neighbor! So we're taking that initial that hey, which is going to activate where we're going to breathe from. And you're going to feel the poop muscles, which I know you talk about, and I like to talk about. And you want to feel that. And the H sound is really good for activating that.
It's a mild way to, and I feel when I do it, this like, I feel my whole body kind of do that a little bit, but you're engaging for the first time, thinking down. And then the other thing about hey versus the rest of the phrase is that we're focusing on opening up and lengthening, getting our vocal tract, our throat out of the way so that we can really feel that belted sound come out right in the front of your face, right? And right. Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor! Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor!
Ooh, yeah, the sound difference is... Okay,
So that one I'm letting the air out through both my nose and my mouth. Hey, neighbor!
Which is less belty.
It's less belty and it's less controlled. And you're not really getting that pressure buildup or that resonance right up in your eyes almost.
Hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor!
Versus hey, neighbor!
Hey, neighbor! Hey, neighbor! Hey, neighbor!
When you're vacillating between these different sounds, it's not that one feels or sounds louder than the other. It's that there's different timbres and your voice almost throws differently.
It does.
The belt, I sense that like resonation in your face, but it almost comes out and like gets my face. Like I can feel that interaction. Whereas when you're moving it and placing it in different places, it sounds more trapped. You have to be aware of how you can manipulate your placement and resonance so that you can belt when you want to.
Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, no. Dirty Diana, let me be.
So experiment with hey, neighbor! Moving that placement around. The key thing to realize here is that your belting is more about where you place the sound that comes out consciously with your mind than it is about how much you're pushing your voice. Experiment with that. Make sure you're good and warmed up. Click that link below to join the free warm-ups course that Lauren and I have put together. We'll see you for more.
What's the worst that I can say? Things are better if I stay. So long and good night. So long and good night. And if you carry on this way, things are better if I stay. So long and good night. So long and good night.
Hey, Chris Liepe here. Lots of you have asked me to break down the most recent Tesseract song, and I've been wanting to do an analysis of Daniel Tompkins for a while. Fantastic vocalist. I have listened to Tesseract. I have not listened to this song yet. I'm excited. This is a biggie, a long one. So much depth in those guitars.
tears turn to dread with words of life and death. I was sold alive, my future in disguise. You chose to
Okay, before we get any further, let's go back and talk about his two different voices. Wow. There's this theatrical nature of his low and clean singing, and he's manipulating his pressure in really subtle ways down there. And then he launches into, these are not voiceless screams, at least so far. They are pitch screams. You can hear a fundamental note, his primary chords being engaged. And it creates even more of this sort of blistering sort of sound, which perfectly fits. Let's go back and observe and talk about his approach a little bit more here.
In the beginning, I was told. In the beginning, I was told.
I'm exaggerating this to make a point, but he really leans in, dynamically compresses a bit more, and then backs off.
Beginning, I was told that the life in you ran cold. My tears turned to dread.
He has the breath before he closes it. Dread. That's cool.
With words of life and death.
Okay.
I was sold alive.
Okay. You hear that I was sold alive. If you listen really carefully, listen again.
I was sold alive.
Oh, so cool. One more time.
I was sold alive.
Oh, you hear it. An aggressive. It's barely there, but it's there.
I was sold alive.
Okay, let's get there. This pitch screaming technique is one of my favorites, and he's executing it so well. Much more subtly, I think, than some. Get the notes. I was sold alive. Then, push yourself to sing them in as much chest voice as you can. That was head voice. And let your voice falter and crack because those notes might be too high. I was sold alive. Hear the warbly? Now lean into that and let it yodel. I was sold alive. Now, accentuate the yodel and crack. I was sold alive. Do you hear how the pitch itself takes a huge backseat as our false chords and other upper constricted tissues take the brunt of the air, but the primary chords are still engaged. I was sold alive. As I let it falter, I find the balance that lets me focus my attention in the right way that makes it sound less like singing and more like screaming with a hint of singing. Alive! 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 There it is. I can't stress enough the need as you're dialing this kind of thing in to let it falter. Be vulnerable. Be with it. And then learn to lean in at different points. And over time, you'll get this.
I was sold alive.
So tight.
My future in disguise. You chose to play.
That was cool. Okay, I'm gonna let that run. That's awesome. Let's talk about how in that section he joins his true voice with voiceless stuff. So the other screams that he was doing were voice. There was primary chord engagement throughout. Here, particularly those growls, that's all false chord engagement. Always! And then I learned from Will Ramos several months ago, and I'm continuing to practice it, to sigh, to start by sighing into these low growls to engage my false chords. That's really hard to do coming from a nice chest voice melody. Let me see what I can do with it. Always! Sigh. Now I'm going to take the sigh out and just and I'm going to use a filter. My mouth is going to be desperate, always desperate. Try to sigh again to get some of those primary chords out of there. I feel that coming in a bit. Desperate. That's feeling pretty good. Not as tight as what he's doing, but I'm not trying to get as good, or I'm trying to experiment and learn and be inspired by what he's doing. And there's lots to be inspired about here. By the way, if you'd like help developing some of these kinds of techniques in your own voice in a way that doesn't lead to strain, injury, stress, and discouragement, click the link below and join my free voice course, and I'll help you develop the foundations so that you can be playful enough with your voice and build some of these kinds of sounds and sensations into it and use them musically. That throaty, twangy sound of the guitar and bass mixture is so neat sounding. Tesseract and Periphery have always been two of my favorite rhythm sections. Beautiful head voice. Hear how in is chest voice? Into, but he's singing gingerly enough, calmly enough, that he's easing into that too in a head voice. Into, and then he follows it up in head voice. Then there's that and happening. Beautiful. Those are pitch screams again. Again, really subtle. It would be easy to mistake these for voiceless screams, but they are not. I love his vibrato and his jumping between registers. So on point for the vibe of the song. He's got a great voice. So they've got the tear the mask, and then tear the mask away! Where he's got the pitch scream, but then they've got the clean sing, then they've got the harmony, it's got all these layers, and it's just this wonderful stadium of voices. Some relief. He's got a beautiful, beautiful vibrato. It's slow. Mask away, and then wanna know. Mask away is not belted. It's na. It's breathy. The resonance is placed a little bit further back, as if he's feeling it in his, behind his head, maybe a little. And then a no is just right smack dab in the middle, that belted forward, feeling it in your forehead. This moving around of resonance, I mean, especially in the context here where it's mixed down a little bit, you really get a whole different place in the mix and a different sense of the voice as he's moving this resonance around. It really sounds good. Back. Now that's cool. There's a little bit of an effect on there, but he's also adding more rasp, upper constricted, holding back air. Lift something heavy. Neat to have that combined with that effect. Listen carefully. Fading. Rush. That is a different type of distortion, but it's sort of a less extreme version of the pitch screams, not tapping into the volatility of the vocal break, like I've talked about before, but more just by holding back air. Engaging the false chords, but we have a lot more primary chord engagement. So we hear the pitch a lot more than we hear the false chords. That's that balance. Great sound, great tone, great use of compression. But he does sigh and like... Yeah, he breaks out of it. Ah! So cool to combine those things. You hear the pitch more. Understand it. You hear him develop that grit down here a little bit, and then that pitch scream going all the way up to that higher note. That is difficult to do. Understand. He's really tight at it, but keeping that pitch in the midst of that false chord engagement. This takes a lot of practice, and he's doing it better than I've heard really almost any other singer do. This is incredible. So he can go from this all-out, engaged, pitched scream down to that tender, head voice-based sort of whimper within following the dynamics of the song incredibly. This is the mark of a fantastic vocalist, the variety of placements and dynamics. Not just about having one tone or one trick. There's all sorts of things he's doing. The breath in there too. Beautiful. Hear how he's engaging that sort of sigh as he keeps going. I also really enjoy this section of musical speaking, right? He's hitting notes here and there, but it's much more of a conversational tone, right? We've heard him lock into specific melodies. Now we're hearing this spewing, this stream of consciousness of lyrics, and the way that he's delivering his vocals really reflects that in a unique way. Running high! Going into the pitch scream from a true chord engagement compressed sound on a speech level. That's a really cool thing to play with. I would encourage you to play with that before you try to make it about hitting notes and doing it. Gotta hear that fill again. Oh.
The words I whispered followed you. They lit a light in you that you might not have found. To dream of flowing like sun crystal.
Thick.
And glistening as you read.
Head voice. All in the same range. This is the genius.
And glistening as you read.
These kind of songs that just take you through so many different emotions and places. Wow.
The words that I whispered when it all began, did they shine a light on you? You don't understand. You dream of falling like sun crystal stormy.
Lots of placement things like we talked about earlier going on in this section. I can't wait to listen to this multiple times and just enjoy it more, really, in a lot of ways, for those kinds of things he's doing with his voice. That melody is so awesome being carried out in those screams. Oh, that's so good. Off to listening to that a bunch more times. Oh, there's so much to take in. Can't possibly do that on a first-time listen. Oh, I've heard Daniel Tompkins' voice before, but there's some really neat things going on in there. Wow. Again, if you'd like more help with your own voice, discovering what it can really do in the context of this kind of style, click the link below and join my free course. Would love to work with you more there. Thanks for hanging out to the end. We'll see you for more.
I'd rather be